Universal, this is a little bit of a overkill. These are props from the films. All right, here we go. Home of the hopefully AP mac and cheese. Look how crusty E.T.'s lips are looking right there. They have Captain Frickin' Cacao here. Okay guys, we're back at Universal Studios Florida. It's time for a Universal update. Big day, the Steven Spielberg kind of exhibit experience with all sorts of different props is opening. So on that note, in honor of Steven, the Universal shirt of the day, we have the classic E.T. Universal Studios shirt. So on that note, let's roll the vintage clip.
He helped design the E.T. ride, which has become the biggest attraction on the Universal tour.
You get a little bit of sauna when you go through this also. It's good for the skin.
If you've got some imagination, for those few minutes, you might even think you're on a bike taking E.T. back home.
That's my favorite guy right there. That's the guy, yeah.
Okay, welcome back. Let's go see Steven and see if he's in trouble. Now, Steven Spielberg, I consider, is the greatest director of all time. He's created true masterpieces in every genre. No one else can touch him. But without Steven, there would be none of this. None of Universal Studios would exist. Universal Studios Hollywood would probably still exist, but Universal Studios Florida and Islands and Epic, Steven was the one who really kind of pushed for it and paved the way. And then his IPs from his films really made Universal what it is. So we're gonna head into Hollywood right now. This is where they're having that Steven Spielberg little exhibit. I don't know how long it's gonna be here, but I'm excited to see what they have inside. One of my favorite things I did last year is I went to the Academy Motion Picture Museum, and for the Jaws anniversary, they had this massive exhibit with all these different props from Jaws and from Steven from his personal collection. And like, my mind was blown seeing all that stuff. Here we go. So we got the posters for Steven's new film, We Deserve to Know the Truth, Disclosure Day. I'm trying not to have anything spoiled for me. I'm trying not to watch the trailers because Steven's getting up there in age. So like a Steven Spielberg movie is a true event, so I wanted to like go in blind. I know there's aliens, I know some of the cast, but everything else I want to know nothing. So the Spielberg summer blockbuster featuring Disclosure Day. So you're gonna walk in, they have all these different lights that are shining right there. You have like a film strip. Let's see what's going on. Oh, it's gonna be the whole history of Steven. Oh, I'm gonna nerd out so much in here. All right, let's start with this first. So the film description for Jaws is when a massive killer shark unleashes chaos on a beach community off Long Island, it's up to a local sheriff, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down. Get some great behind the scenes photos of Steven right there, looking at the script, rewriting stuff, trying to figure stuff out because that shark is not working. There's him there with the entire cast. This is a quote that Steven said about John Williams. I expect to hear something weird and melodic, tonal but eerie, and what he played me instead was two fingers on the lower keys, was da-dun, 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 da-dun. I asked him to play it again, and it suddenly seemed right. Without that score, to this day, I believe the film would have been only half as successful. The first film ever to gross over 100 million at the domestic box office. Here we have some of the storyboards. So you have Brody right there. Then you have Bruce popping out of the water. Bruce is biting the orca. Looks like Quint's trying to shoot a spear at Bruce. You have the barrels flying into the water. Bruce bumping the orca, and then Quint falling. Quint sticks it in Bruce. See the dorsal fin coming towards the orca right there. Storyboard of Quint and Brody talking to each other. The barrel popping out of the water. Bruce flying up, looking massive when they stick Bruce. So it's really cool to see some of the storyboards because you never get to see this stuff. There has never been a movie or phenomenon like Jaws. It is the first film everyone talked about, and more importantly, the film everyone went to see. From that day, it was released, opening to exceptional reviews. It was a box office blockbuster. It was the first motion picture to be shot on the ocean. So the mechanical shark blueprints. It was cool at the Jaws exhibit. You got to actually like play with. This is awesome. This kind of shows the inside mechanics of Bruce. Again, as you know, he didn't work. You do this up and down. You see Bruce's mouth opening and closing. You got Brody right there. Some of the lobby cards for Jaws. 3-time Oscar winner, best film editing, best original score, best sound. You got Steven right there. Never seen this poster before. It's like Quentin is being snatched up. Over here they have the Amity police barricades up. You got the barrel that they attached to Bruce right down there. You got Bruce in the water the silhouette of the orca. And now we have some props. Here we have some set dressing. It looks like this is the shot. You can see Robert Shaw right there through the shark mandible. Now over here we have Lorraine Gary's personal bound script. And then over here we have some script pages with annotations by Steven Spielberg. This page was created on 6/8/74. Over here we have some of the Jaws collectibles, original consumer products. We had the awesome sipper that was released last year at the Universal Studios Parks. We have the classic Game of Jaws game. You would take out pieces from Bruce and then he would kind of clamp down. Let's show a vintage commercial about that.
Jaws. 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 Jaws is the game where you try to fish out what's in the jaws of the great white shark.
I'm going for the camera. Made it!
But be careful, because if you remove the wrong piece, the jaws will get you. You're out. Jaws, it's you against the great white shark and each other from Ideal.
And then last year they released the Orca Lego set. A lot of great detail in it. Comes with Bruce and the entire squad right there. This is a vintage Universal Studios Florida vanity plate, and then they made like a wine. I think this released last year, but it's really cool because you can see Bruce in the back, and then you can see her swimming on top, right above all the liquid. More than 50 years ago, Steven Spielberg stepped onto the Universal lot with a singular vision and an intangible passion for storytelling. Since his 1971 debut of Duel, Spielberg has directed over 30 feature films and produced hundreds more. For a significant portion of those, including some of his most seminal and enduring films, he called Universal home. With Jaws, Spielberg defined the modern summer blockbuster, introducing a new era of summer releases and high-stakes entertainment. With Jurassic Park, he pushed filmmaking technology to new heights, combining life-size animatronics and cutting-edge CGI. With E.T. and Fabelmans, he has warmed people's hearts with stories of wonderment and family across all genres. He consistently entertains, inspires, and moves audiences through his exploration of the human experience and timeless themes of adventure and discovery. Together, Spielberg and Universal have broken box office records and garnered critical acclaim through Jaws, E.T., Jurassic Park, each becoming the highest grossing film ever at the time of their respective releases. In 1994, Spielberg brought home his first Oscar for Best Picture for Schindler's List. Today, Spielberg and his films continue to leave an indelible mark on the entertainment industry and popular culture. Beyond the movie theaters, his impact can be seen in innovative theme park attractions around the world, beloved franchises and merchandise, and is deeply woven into the fabric of Universal's legacy and future. Coming up, Universal excited to release Spielberg's next film this summer, the E.T. section. Look how crusty E.T.'s lips are looking right there. All the stage passes they all had to wear on set. So this was Steven Spielberg's. So it's the 4-time Oscar-winning film for Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Effects Editing, and Best Original Score. So you get some great behind-the-scenes photo of Steven there. But here's some storyboards of the ship coming through the clouds and going away. Got some more behind the scenes photos. E.T. became the highest grossing film ever at the time, a record it held for 11 years until Spielberg's own Jurassic Park surpassed it in 1993. We got some more behind the scenes photo right there of them at the dinner table, concept sketch of E.T. right there, Elliot and E.T.'s hand touching. And then we'll come over here, the film synopsis. After a gentle alien becomes stranded on Earth, the being is discovered and befriended by a young boy named Elliot. Here's the little stage pass that Steven had to wear. Everybody had to wear that, but there's a little E.T. right there. Some concept painting of them on their bikes. Steven directing. He's popping out of the ship right there. I wanted him to be special. I didn't want him to look like aliens from other movies. I wanted him to look so anatomically different that the audience would never be able to think that there was a person in a suit with a zipper up the back. There's Spielberg directing the kids inside the classroom scene. Over here, we got some original props. So we have the coffee bean can transmitter from E.T. And then over here we have the classic, the Speak and Spell from the film. These are the actual props. These are not replicas. These are props from the films that Universal pulled out of their archives. I'm really surprised they still even had some of this stuff, but this is just great to see in person because then they kind of like recreated the stuff inside the ETQ. We'll show off in a little bit. Over here we have some original consumer products. Okay, so I was born in 95. I grew up with the re-release of E.T. We had it on VHS, but then like the big moment where I fell in love with E.T. was in the early 2000s when they did the re-release. My mom would take me to Toys R Us and I would buy all these like E.T. figures. I still have them. They're still at home, but it was only at Toys R Us.
All my candy!
There's only one place on Earth to find the largest selection of exclusive E.T. toys. Toys R Us, the place E.T. calls home.
Elliot. No, Jeffrey with a G.
Elliot.
Okay, read my lips, Jeffrey.
So they have one of the Toys R Us toys here. So this is the Furby E.T. right here. Your extraterrestrial friend, E.T. And I do love this. We even have the original sticker. They took off the toy for Toys R Us, but it was $9.99 back in the day. But yeah, that collection was freaking awesome. I loved it. And they released this a couple years ago at the Universal Studios Parks of this E.T. hat. Then over here we have the classic Tops collectible cards with one stick of gum. We have the Lounge Fly. We have one of the classic plushes from the 80s. This is the original special effects arm of E.T. It's been restored because these things do break down pretty quick, and they've had to restore all the different E.T. animatronics over the years. The restoration looks pretty solid. We can see all the different triggers that were used for E.T. So there was one for the thumb, the index finger, ring finger, and then the pinky. So you would press this, right, and then the cord would go all the way up E.T.'s arm, and then it would move. Again, this I didn't even know they had. So these are the 4 bikes from E.T. These are the screen used actual bikes. E.T. in the Milk Crate was from Universal Studios Hollywood in the special effects soundstage. Room 1, we start with Jaws, then we go to E.T. The next room, I think we go to Jurassic. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm just reading everything because this is the nerdy stuff that I love. But let's go into Jurassic now. All right, so over here we will start with the clapper boards. So we got one from Jurassic Park, and then one from The Lost World. They made Steven wearing his classic shirt. They also have this awesome Lego set. So it's just showing off all different types of merchandise that they've created for Jurassic Park. I have this in my office.
There he is right there, the little baby raptor.
Some that were released in the 90s, and then when Jurassic Park 3 came out in the early 2000s, they did a new version. I also have those when I was a kid. Then we have the official Jurassic tour guide button. This is actually from Jurassic Park from 1993. Let's come over here and talk about Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park spawned a multimedia franchise that includes 6 film sequels with a franchise box office total of more than $6 billion worldwide to date, animated television series, video games, theme park attractions, comic books, and an extensive consumer product line. Okay, so we got the Raptor paddock right here. So we see the blueprints of how it's supposed to be designed and then kind of the concept drawing of how the Raptor paddock was supposed to be. Over here we see Steven in between some of Stan Winston's T-Rex legs. We have concept drawings and kind of how the internal interface was supposed to look, and then also how the entire inside of the car was gonna look. So we can see all the different eggs right there, the hatchery unit, and the genetic labs, some behind the scenes photos, concept drawings of how the entrance was going to look. Mr. DNA, based on the novel by Michael Crichton, the film is set on the fictional island of Isla Nublar near Costa Rica, where wealthy businessman John Hammond and a team of genetic scientists have created a wildlife park of de-extinct dinosaurs. When industrial sabotage leads to a catastrophic shutdown of the park's power, facilities, and security precautions, a small group of visitors struggle to survive and escape the now perilous island. Here's some sketches that Spielberg did. Looks like of the velociraptors and then in the kitchen scene when they're closing it when the raptor's coming at them. It won 3 Oscars for Best Sound Effects Editing, and Best Visual Effects. Here we have some Stan Winston Studios concept drawings of the raptors. See how the scale was going to be with the dinosaurs, of the little raptor hatching. It was one of those projects that was so obviously a Spielberg film. If you look at the body of Steven's work, he very often is interested in a theme of extraordinary things happening to ordinary people. We got the classic photo of Steven with the animatronic right there. The concept art for John Hammond. See how he was going to look holding the amber. It's like one of the original concepts was having a raptor claw instead of amber on his cane. We have the concept drawing for the night vision goggles, and then here's some scene sketches of when the T-Rex is circling around the vehicle. So you have it right there, and then you go into a little bit more detailed concept storyboards of how it's going to look. This is cool. So this is from Lost World. It's going to be one of the raptor maquettes that was created from the art department. These are all original film props, not replicas. So you got the night vision goggles. Now they've had these in the tribute stores before, but they were replicas, not the original thing. Here they have the original props. You come over here, you have one of the original Jurassic Park maps, and then some of the eggs that Alan Grant holds. These original props from the film, and then John Hammond's original cane, which then leads up to the amber in the top of his cane. So this is all the original stuff, not replicas, which is freaking awesome. We have a Compy maquette that was created by the art department. Again, one of the maquettes from Lost World. 1997, the film synopsis based on the novel by Michael Crichton. The story picks up 4 years after the disaster of Jurassic Park. Something has survived on Isla Sorna, a second island where the dinosaur manufacturing facility, codenamed Site B, has been destroyed by a hurricane, and animals now run free, constrained by only the laws of nature. The screenwriter had to say this: Steven's got such a wonderful, fertile mind, especially for these sort of adventure sequences and action sequences. Got some classic photos right there. I love that on the VHS they had this image of the T-Rex, and you kind of turn it back and forth and it would move a little bit. We got Steven looking at some of the storyboards right before he starts filming. Get some more concept drawings, probably by Stan Winston Studios, of the Velociraptor, a male, a little baby Stegosaurus, and then the concept drawing. Not the biggest fan of the end of the film, A Lost World. Enjoy the beginning of it. You can see them look out the monitor. So this is who we talked about in the last HHN update, Stan Winston. He did all the different creatures, all the different monsters that we know and love. He's no longer with us anymore, but you can see him behind the scenes with Steven looking at stuff. Steven's looking through the camera. Look at the way Steven is looking at him. But it says, part of the joy and challenge of working with Steven Spielberg is he constantly pushes himself to do things in an unconventional and exciting way. He challenges all of us to go beyond anything that's been done before. So this is what Ian Malcolm wore in the film. Time to go to the next spot. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to Steven's new film, We Deserve to Know. Disclosure Day. All will be disclosed. You got the eye, you got the bird right there. Here we do have some props. Again, we don't know what this stuff is yet, but we're gonna have the backpack and the coffee mug from the Kansas City TV station. And then we're gonna come down here, and then we got some Wardex ID badges that are from the film. Again, we'll find out in a month what this stuff is. Then we got some more posters. Center face here. Something going on with the eyes. They add a filter onto your eyes. Over here we have Emily Blunt's costume that she wears in the film. This is Daniel's outfit from the film. So that you can see how Daniel looks in the film. And then here's his outfit. Down to the shoes. Your eyes before to your eyes after, you're an alien. Something you want to tell us?
You gotta see the movie.
All right, then you exit into a gift shop. So it's got a lot of the same merch that we've kind of seen in all the different stores. You got the Jaws stuff. There'll be more stuff coming in a couple days. And it's just a lot of the Jurassic Park stuff we've kind of already seen. So nothing new. And then there's a register out here, and they got some E.T. merch right there. And then it's a wall of little E.T. plushes. I always love when we get to see real props from the classic Universal films. I want them to do like more of the little upcoming film exhibits, because they used to do that all the time back in the day. We're at the Horror Makeup Show. They have a new sign up. Horror Makeup is closed for maintenance. We apologize for any inconvenience. Okay, so since it's a Steven Spielberg film day, we're gonna go over to the E.T. Adventure. This is technically the sequel to the film. We're gonna hear that classic pre-show, and then I wanna show you Steven Spielberg inside Men in Black. There's a Steven Spielberg alien in there. 10-minute wait for one of the best attractions ever made. I do love all the stroller parking signs, but I love the E.T. one. If you're ever over here by the gift shop, they're $1 each. They do the souvenir coin press. I guess they don't call them pennies anymore. Aren't pennies extinct now? So it says E.T. We got E.T. chilling right there, touching fingers, and then E.T. holding on to some flowers. The mystery, the suspense, the adventure. E.T. Adventure.
Hello, I'm Steven Spielberg, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the E.T. Adventure. But I'm afraid we don't have much time, so I'm going to cut right to the chase. E.T. needs your help. Now, we've just received an urgent message from E.T.'s teacher, Botanicus, calling for E.T. to come home right away. You see, a big problem has developed 3 million light years away on E.T.'s home world, the Green Planet. E.T.'s friends are in danger because their planet is dying. Remember what E.T.'s friends look like, because it's going to be up to you to help E.T. find them once we get him home, and there's not a moment to lose, because only E.T.'s magic healing touch can save his friends and bring his planet back to health. E.T. must go home, and only you can help him. Ah, E.T. That's right, E.T. So why don't you show these people how we're going to get you back to the Green Planet? You and E.T. will be making your 3 million light year journey on these bikes, but don't worry, you don't have to pedal. But you will need an interplanetary passport. So before you leave with E.T., tell your first name to one of our assistants, and they'll give you your pass. Sounds like E.T.'s ready to go. So good luck, everyone. And remember, E.T.'s counting on you, and so am I. It's up to you to save his planet so that he may visit us again.
All right, here we go. The adventure begins.
E.T., go to Tickly. Hurry.
Tickly. Ouch.
Welcome home. You returned to us.
Welcome home.
Let go.
You have saved our planet. Come, celebrate with us.
Goodbye, Betsy. Have fun.
Now let's go walk over to where Men in Black is, and I'll show you the Steven alien inside the attraction.
How'd you like the preview center?
Really good. I enjoyed seeing all the Jaws stuff and E.T. and, you know.
Yeah.
It's good.
Exciting.
Universal, this is a little bit of a overkill. They've added another truck here. So they pretty much just created a giant wall, okay, with the trucks. So you can't see in. They got 4 trucks blocking the way. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one's right there. Now it's even more blocked. It's time to do some Men in Black alien attack. We tried to get an angle of Steven. So you're supposed to like shoot the alien, right? And then the paper comes down, then you kind of see Steven's head with all the alien. I just couldn't get it today. So when you're coming through, it's gonna be off to the right. You'll see Frank the Pug and the newspaper stand. and then Steven will be right next to that. So just shoot at the alien with the newspaper, and it'll come down and it'll be Steven's face. So we popped over to Islands for a little bit because it's a weekend, and you know what that means? Blondie's is open, so we can try the annual pass holder mac and cheese. All right, let's pop into the annual pass holder lounge first. They are re-releasing the Epic Universe buttons every week, so we gotta pick up the new little button. So the button is the Burning Blade from Darkmoor. All right, little doggy, is Blondie's open? Can I get the AP mac and cheese? All right, here we go. Home of the hopefully AP mac and cheese. They have it, they have the AP mac and cheese. If they're gonna bring the AP mac and cheese out to us. Let's try the chocolate chip cookie. Size of my head, but is quality though. You ever had like a school barbecue? They mass produce the cookies. Tastes like one of those, 6.5. It's not horrendous, but if you're in the area, just go get the s'mores cookie. Don't waste your time or money on the chocolate chip. Okay, so the chopped Italian mac and cheese is gonna have pepperoni, salami, capicola, sapressata, cavatappi pasta with Gouda on it. So much food there, so good. If you're a fan of like an Italian sandwich, you're gonna love this. Get that really creamy Gouda mac and cheese, then you get tons of meat on top. If you love Italian sandwiches, get this, 9 out of 10. Okay, let's exit Islands and head to City Walk, see what's going on with the Fast and Furious coaster. It's like overnight, so much has sprouted up. So, they're putting up the beams right for the coaster track. We saw this stuff installed yesterday, but look at this. Let's go to the left. There's more, and there's more. This is wild. So right across from the Universal Studios store here at City Walk, they have a new cart that just opened up, and it's all Epic Universe stuff. As you know, the preview center is gone, so we have all the merch over here, and they have Captain Cacao. They have Captain frickin' Cacao here at City Walk now, so you don't have to go into Epic to pick them up. They got keychains, hoodies, backpacks, fans, they got it all. Now if you're a fan of Captain Cacao, there's some new stuff coming. On that note, let's go swim home, back to the office. Okay guys, we're back in the office, so we have a big week ahead of us. I'm gonna be doing the cast member preview for Soarin', and then also for the Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster overlay, and then we'll have a bunch of Universal updates happening, then we have a Celebration update happening. There's a lot of videos coming, so I hope you guys are prepared. So on that note, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and join the family.
We love the family.
Because I'm gonna keep you up to date on all things theme parks and Halloween Horror Nights and Universal Studios around the country. I love you all. I'll see y'all very soon.
Have fun.
This little E.T. is saying,
Hooterade?
look at that.
Hooterade?